Hi, I'm JBroker. This is my self-portrait presentation. So we want to talk about where I come from, where I'm at now, where I see my future going, and how this class has helped me sort through that whole process. So as far as where I come from, I was born and raised in Montana, and I've lived in Colorado most of my adult life. So I wanted to make sure the mountains were really a focal point of my portrait. In addition to that, I wanted to make sure that I depicted myself in a yoga pose, since yoga has been a huge part of my life for the past 19 years or so. I started practicing when I was pregnant with my daughter to deal with all of the stress that comes along with pregnancy, the life changes, chemical changes, everything else, mental stress, financial stress, everything else, which is the main focus of this class, is managing stress. So I started practicing yoga, like I said, 19 years ago, and decided maybe it would be a great thing for me to teach. And so I did. I went and took a 2-week intensive training course, and that quickly segued into finding a massage therapy program as soon as I came home from that yoga training. So I've spent the last 16 years teaching yoga and the last 14 years being a massage therapist. So not only does it help me to reduce my own stress and calm anxiety, but I get to share that with other people on a daily basis. So in addition to the yoga pose, well, the yoga pose itself is dancer pose, which dancing is really an integral part of who I am as well. As long as I can remember, I've just loved to spin around my living room or whatever. I love to dance. So I added in the textbook in my hand there. I wrote The Art of Stress Management, where it's actually not quite the title, but it fit better on the pages. And then in addition to that, put a whole stack of textbooks on my back foot there to challenge the pose even more, because as this supplemental book that we've been reading, The Values Factor, states that if we don't give ourselves challenges in life, the universe will hand us some. And it's my experience that it's better to choose your own challenges rather than to let them be chosen for you. So I thought adding a whole stack of textbooks to that yoga pose would make it even more challenging and depict how I'm just slowly stacking up knowledge and adding more tools to my toolbox. So there's psychology, biology, interpersonal communication was one of my favorite classes ever. I'm currently in anatomy and physiology, which is a whole different ballgame than A&P in massage school was, much more in-depth. And then at the top, I've got the values factor, because this has been really huge for me this semester in narrowing down what my focus is. I tend to have way too many interests all the time, including this integrative health program. There's so many interesting things, Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine and herbalism, and it's hard to narrow it down what it is that I really want to do. While it would be nice to go on and get a master's degree or a doctorate, I would love to become an osteopath, but the financial investment is a little daunting. The time investment, I've already been in college now for 4 years. I got another couple years before I'm done with my bachelor's. So this helped me really narrow down what it is that I can pragmatically do soon that can get me maybe out of the field of massage therapy, but still in the wellness field. And so my aha moment right now is that I should teach. I should teach massage. So one of the last aspects I added to the picture was this antelope here. Our textbook does talk about spirituality, a few different chapters, and my main spiritual path of the last 20 years or so has been Native American spirituality and shamanism. Just really aligns with my way of thinking. And so animals represent certain things. And so antelope, so this is what it's based on, is the medicine cards. Antelope represents proper action. And so going to school is an action. I can dream about the future all I want. I can make plans all I want, but unless I take proper action, nothing will ever change. And so having a plan and then taking proper action. So the action I took was to go online and look for massage teaching positions, and I was surprised to find that you don't have to have a master's degree, you don't have to have a doctorate, And I could teach all of these things that I've been learning myself. Physiology, anatomy, pathophysiology, interpersonal communication. I can teach all these things without having to invest another 5 or 6 years into school, even though I would still like to continue learning. So another aspect I added was the spider web. According to Native Americans, spider actually created the first alphabet, the first written alphabet. The letters were found in its web. And so I have it dropped down onto the textbooks because who knows, maybe eventually I'll be the one writing a textbook, designing continuing education curriculum for massage therapists, teaching yoga retreats around the world. This is what I'm focused on. As far as back to the whole where I came from, we've got the camping scene here because growing up close to the mountains, we went camping almost every weekend during the summer. And these hawks actually represent my parents, who have really given me a very strong basis for who I am. While they gave me a lot of independence growing up, they also were always watching me. Even today, I'm 44, and they still keep an eye on me, make sure that I'm staying on a good path. The empty nest, my kids are 18 and 23. So I am just recently an empty nester, and here it comes back to that too many options in life. And that's how I feel right now. I'm a little overwhelmed with just how many options I have in life. So again, this values factor has really helped to kind of narrow down my focus a little bit. Let's see. As far as other aspects go, as far as relaxation, meditation, which our textbook talks about, one of my favorite things is skiing. You can't be caught up in your ego when you're skiing. You got to be focused. As soon as your mind wanders or you think you're amazing, that's when you're going to wipe out. So I wanted to make sure that that was included in there as well. I would have liked to put a tube on the river because I love going tubing. It's these things that are just where you can just be one with yourself, one with nature. As far as the water element goes, in our textbook, it talks about the Tao Te Ching numerous times, which I'm a big fan. I've had this book for a long time. A lot of the chapters, they're little verses really, kind of talk about the same thing fairly repeatedly, and water tends to be a really common aspect in it. So this verse that I chose says, in dwelling, live close to the ground. In thinking, keep to the simple. In conflict, be fair and generous. In governing, don't try to control. In work, do what you enjoy. In family life, be completely present. And that in work, do what you enjoy, that has been huge to me my entire life. If I don't enjoy my workplace, if I don't enjoy my coworkers, if I don't enjoy what I'm doing, I'm going to be miserable. And when I encounter people that are miserable in their lives with what they're doing for a living, all I want to tell them is find something you're passionate about. So that's where I come from, the mountains, a really strong basis of family, pretty solid spiritual nature, a love for relaxation, stress management, and I love sharing that with other people as well. So that's me.